Hello, beautiful beings. Here I am live again. Woo! We are rocking and rolling as we move through this gateway. We have such immense beauty and divine orchestration weaving around us through this gateway. It's one of the most beautiful portal threaded orchestrations I've witnessed in all of my time on earth, and I really mean that, all of my time on earth, which I've had quite a lot of time on earth. If you are here and joining me, please say hello. Oh, I love connecting with you guys. If you have questions, I'm available, so feel free to throw them into the comments section. If you are catching this on the replay, please don't be a lurker. Let me know you're here. Hashtag replay in the comments. And on that note, Facebook, my Facebook community, I love you so much. If you're on Instagram, please find me on Instagram. I would love to grow my community over there. So if you don't already follow me there, please do. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Okay, just so everyone knows, because I have been putting out videos as we've been moving through this gateway. There are prior videos, and I talk about the portal mechanics to this gateway. This gateway is from 2-2 to 222 with a peak of 211. I go into detail about this. I really talk about some of the symptoms, some of the things that you might be experiencing, as well as the actual energetic architecture work behind this portal. I then expanded on that in an additional video. So I'm not going to be able to get into all of those details. If you would like to dive a little bit deeper, you're seeing this video but you haven't seen the others, then go back and watch those. I have titled this Divine Union is Returning to Gaia. Oh my gosh, you guys. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Divine union is returning to Gaia. On my previous video, when I talked about the portal mechanics, and I'll show you guys some of the imagery that I shared there, I was showing how divine union is actually written into this portal, into this gateway. Exactly when I said divine union, it came to 3:33 minutes in this video. Which is like threes and sixes divine union, 9 completion. So divine union is actually built into this gateway. That includes the sacred figure 8. The sacred figure 8 is a formation of divine union. It is harmonic, energetics of the highest. And so as we're moving through this, we have the essence of divine union in a divine union year, a gateway and portals that have been constructed to actually bring that into creation. When you have divine union, you don't simply just have divine union, you have automatically then the Trinity, which brings in the divine child. If you are here and popping in, please say hello. I love to know who is here. And if you have any questions, let me know too. So as we were moving through this gateway and it has the essence of the divine union, it is bringing in the divine child. Ah! And look, y'all, the divine child always holds the soul keys. The divine child weaves purely in creation. Divine child is the provision. It's the outcome. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for being here. Love you, love you, love you. So the essence of the divine child is actually the nesting effect. And I spoke about this in a previous video. So the nesting effect creates. And this is why I say the divine child offers the highest levels of provision. And this is what is coming through in this portal and in this gateway to create and support us in our evolutionary process. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit here. For those of you who don't know me, I am Ashtyn Monea. Monea stands for Mother of New Earth. I birthed the energetic container and architected it over, and this took many, many lifetimes, but it finally was able to birth in 2020. And so I am a major anchor for New Earth, and I hold Gaia's larger energetic body. This means that I'm a direct microcosm to her macrocosm. So when Gaia is experiencing something, I am very directly experiencing something alongside of her. And what that means is that in that exacting moment, I'm able to read what's going on collectively. And right now, Gaia is having immense evolutionary like almost like epiphanies, right? So we as humans, we go through our evolutionary process and our awakening process, and we come online. There are things that unlock within us, and suddenly we have access to more of ourselves or more of our life force. That is what is happening within Gaia and on Gaia, moving through this gateway and this portal. So being the mother of new earth and holding Gaia's energetic container. If you guys aren't familiar with the Taurus, Gaia has a Taurus. It looks like this purple object all around her energetic body. We all do. It's a essential essence of creation itself. So I am holding the center point of her new energetic body. Okay. I'm also divine feminine embodiment. You may or may not be familiar with divine union alchemy. If you are, then the chalice is related to divine union alchemy of the feminine essence. So the sword of truth, is like the masculine, and the chalice is the feminine. So a couple weeks ago, I heard from my guides, and they were saying, Ashtyn, we need for you to understand how big your chalice is. Like how big, what your chalice holds. If you've watched my previous videos, you may already know, but then if you don't and you're here, that's okay. I'm going to track back just a little bit. I went on a predestined pilgrimage in 2021, and this was to do portal weaving and unlock a ton of codes that had never been able to be unlocked. I created and maintained these portals over many lifetimes before I was on Earth, and also in lifetimes when I was on Earth. These codes cannot be unlocked until now, which is a huge, huge, huge deal. So as I was moving through and I was unlocking these portals, that also means that I am holding those portals. Imagine the chalice, imagine a massive cup, and it's filling up and it's filling up and it's filling up with all these various codes, right? Because I have all kinds of lifetimes and I'm bringing all kinds of codes that Gaia really wants to be grounded here and that are essential codes for New Earth to come into being. So as I was moving through that process, I would have conversations with my friends and be like, y'all, I am moving so much. I am grounding so much. I'm receiving so much. I like my capacity has to grow for that. And I know that I'm holding more than I can actually read and I can actually see, because it was so much to hold. And then I have arrived to where I need to be in order to ground it. And it's been really challenging, because if you are trying to ground immensity, the more immense, the more challenging it's going to be to actually weave and ground it here on this earth plane. Okay, so you need a big ass chalice. And you also need something penetrative like the sword of truth to help you anchor it down. This is divine union within. Okay, so on 2/9, because every single day in this portal from 2/2 to 2/22 is linking to a portal directly that I worked with, and also the woven threads of each and every portal I worked with corresponding in each day. Okay, so each day that we move through, guys, has very essential coding in it. It's very specific coding in it. If you are here, let me know that you're here. Say hello, please, please, please. I want to know who you are on the other side. Facebook used to tell me who is here, and now it no longer does. So with each day, there's a particular essence that we're moving through. On 2/9 was a day of completion, okay? So I have been, and remember you guys, I'm webby, I'm spiraled, I'm going to give you all the connections. Inevitably, they come back together. This is why it's really important to watch my content from beginning to end. Otherwise, you're not going to get the fullness of it. It just doesn't make sense to arrive and leave. So stick with me here. Let me roll back. Hold on. So many threads. Right. I've previously spoken about how this massive energetic atomic like bomb hit Gaia's energetic body, and it did damage to her sacred geometry. And that broken sacred geometry is what actually allowed the leakage in the creation of patriarchy itself. That is a fracture of divine union. That took divine union out. That took proper harmonics out of Gaia's energetic body, and it has created what we have seen as the destruction of Gaia, right? On Gaia, within humanity, and with on her surface. So I had been working on, since August, healing this energetic line that is imprinted on my body that corresponds directly to the ley line that got hit very directly by that atomic energetic bomb that hit Gaia, that took divine union out of order. And so I have been having to heal this energetic line in the masculine side of my body. I've done feminine work all the way down to zero out my bloodline, and that is what resurrected me into a true living divine union of divine feminine embodiment. Now, here I was, doing the masculine side. You guys, what I'm speaking to right now is actual divine union within work. People speak a bunch of stuff. It's words. It's not living. It's not here. This is why I tell you guys about my process. This is why I teach through my process, because that's how embodiment teaches. Embodiment can teach through process itself. So I've been healing out and working with this line. And when I arrived to the actual land points where this energetic bomb hit Gaia's body, the day I arrived, for 3 days, I could not walk because it hurt so bad, that ley line and in my body that corresponded to her, it's like that's what Gaia's been experiencing. I can't walk. Like it's not right. Things are off and it hurts really, really bad. And all while I'm doing this, I'm holding all these codes from all of these various portals that I need to get down, but I can't ground because this line is obstructed. That's what's been happening with Gaia. She is the ultimate code collector within the galactic. She has been calling in her beautiful way of feminine invitation, all these various beautiful codes from all over the galactics for her provision to be received by us on this earth plane, which is our remembrance of ourselves throughout all time and space. For divinity to live here and breathe here and create here through each and every one of us. That could not ground because of this obstruction, because you need a proper sacred figure 8. You need a proper harmonics, which is divine union itself, in order for the energy to flow, in order for divine union to come together to create the nesting effect, to create the divine child, which offers the fullest provision. Hopefully that translated. Sarah, if that translated, if you're still here, let me know. So I was working with this line, working with this energetic line that connects to Gaia's ley line that was aching in my body. And then I start seeing in the ether, oh my gosh, the new DNA. I was watching it in the field coming to be. There have been so many advances in the etheric realms, y'all. It is beautiful to see it, especially when you're someone like me and you know that the things are coming, but we don't know how it's going to come, right? And that's what we're witnessing right now. That's what I'm reading each and every day that we're passing through this gateway, is how the new is actually formulating. It is absolutely gorgeous to witness because it is genuinely witnessing divinity weave around us. I started seeing the new DNA and how it was all coming to be. Then I got the sick. Okay, the sick was here to destroy the DNA, to stop evolution. Silly, silly, silly. When you know the alchemist way, this makes no sense. You're going to send an alchemist into the highest evolution, right? So if you're trying to destroy the DNA, then, oh, nope, I'm going to create the new DNA out of this. The sick corresponded with my process of healing this energetic line. This is why I got a blood clot exactly running on that ley line within my body. And when it was happening, I was feeling all the aches, all the pains, all in this very particular side. And I've been going through all kinds of somatic things, like my whole body goes up in flames. And all kinds of things are happening, right? So my lungs, my throat, this is a strangulation of the feminine essence. Patriarchy has run up. Many women experience this. Look at your energetic bodies. Patriarchy has run up our bodies. It has infiltrated our womb space. Then it has run up our power center. It has moved through our side, and it has actually strangled us at the throat. This is feminine suppression. This is suppression in general. This is what's been happening, right? With the misalignments. It's basically like the energetic hit that hit Gaia's body. Well, this is how it's corresponding to our energetic bodies. Because see, we're here. We're on her body. We are a microcosm of her. So when I got the sick, it was doing all this stuff with this side of my body. I've been moving through a process to clear that out. Well, the other day I was feeling the agitation, like, oh my God, there's something here, but I can't quite get it. And I have a really beautiful friend who was like, hey, are you open to me offering some energetic work to you? And she started channeling an ancestor that's on the masculine side of my lineage and saying, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I did this. I didn't know what I was causing. And I am going to take that now, and you will never have to hold it again. I want to also link in. I have been doing a dance with my father. I'm a divine feminine embodiment. He is a reflection of patriarchy itself, of the wounded masculine. And I have invited him into ownership relative to my childhood and the harms that were caused. And I have said, look, these are the requirements of sharing space with me. If you're going to share space with me, you're going to have to stand in a room with my full power and no suppression. Because this is who I am and this is what it is. And if you're not willing for that, then we cannot relate anymore. And so all these links, all these things are threading, you guys. Every single part of it is threading. So it just so happens to be that my father doesn't necessarily step in. But as I was healing the sick, I said, look, I am giving some of this back to my ancestry. This is not mine to hold. I have processed a whole bunch, so I called it on my answer. You can take this, help me heal this. We're going to divide this out because it is harming my body. And guess what happens? On my birthday, my father got the sick. Same with my mom, but my father got the sick. And then he ends up getting a blood clot that's resting not in this side, but in the center, in between the lungs. In between the lungs is the corridor between masculine and feminine between the lungs. None of these things are coincidental. They're all connected. I knew that my father was going to have a tough time and my mom wasn't with the sick, and that is exactly what happened. So all these various layers are happening. All these things are happening. And remember, I'm telling you my story so that you understand Gaia's story. And understanding Gaia's story is to understand the larger macrocosm that you are resting within, which will support you in your journey. So things started moving, right? Things started moving. Things were clearing. I had this ancestor, which actually could be my father, in a future timeline. That's what it felt like, coming back and saying, I'm going to take this. I should have taken it already. I'm going to take this. And when that happened, a massive immediate release came through me. And suddenly I could feel all this energy. I've been working on this for 6-7 years, you guys, but really consistently since August. All this obstruction of the masculine due to patriarchy removed out of my energetic body. Remember, I have a ley line, one of the most essential ley lines on Gaia, imprinted into my body. It was where the energetic attack happened. So that means that when that is removed from my body, that is a reflection that is being removed from Gaia's body. Okay, now let's move forward. Imagine a ley line, the most major ley line that Gaia has, her Pangea ley line, her historical original vein, right? Imagine that suddenly not being obstructed. Just imagine, because that's what's happening. What happens when her most major ley line is no longer obstruction and the energy can flow? Well, the energy flows, but it flows in masses. It's like, okay, if we had this much space before for something to move, Or it's more like a dam. It's just been dammed up, but she's had some space, and that's what we've been receiving. Okay, now that has opened up in her most major ley line, and this has produced a Kundalini effect all over this earth plane that has never happened since that obstruction hit Gaia's ley line. We are experiencing a mass Kundalini awakening, y'all. Like, this is the most massive. I've been through awakenings. Mine started long ago. We are going through the most evolutionary mass awakening right now. It's becoming more and more possible, like literally each and every day within this gateway. Yes, you feel it so clearly. Great. Thank you for being here, and thank you for witnessing it, right? We are in Gaian and galactic evolutionary history. That is why I'm showing up and going, oh my God, okay, this is the update on the portal. Oh my gosh, this is what's happening. Exactly, Sarah. The snake, the cosmos, the water, the ocean. Her ocean is flowing. I am called to, I had to go on my pilgrimage, and I had to drive because I had to do work on that particular ley line that corresponded to these portals that I was working with. But it's also, I'm called, and I have other friends too, other grid workers, high level grid workers who are called to just drive. You just drive, go in your car. You don't even know where you're going. You just need to get in your car and you need to go. And why? It's because for me, how I do it is I'm actually putting golden thread. Remember in a previous video, I talked about how I hold the golden thread. It's a pure original source thread of creation itself, pure weaving. Golden code into her ley lines, into her ley lines, into her ley lines. That still had that obstruction from back when that thing hit, right? That created patriarchy. And now it is clear. Now it is clearing. And so now her Kundalini is awakening at massive degrees. And the golden code that those of us like me who have been putting inside of her is able to flow. Oh my gosh, what does this mean for us? This means so much for us. So one of the things that that is happening, and this is why I wanted to show up on this live today, you guys, because this is so fucking important. This is so important. And I want people to receive Gaia's provision. And I'm one of the channels to her that can transmit for you all what is going on in real time so that you can be an inheritor of her provision, right? One of the original inheritor of her provision. If you know of other people who will benefit from my work, please, 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 please share it. Please share it. I'm one of the least discovered channels on this earth plane. Please share my work if you believe that people could benefit from it. Share the videos, comment, tag people, recommend me. Because I want this information to be in as many people's hands for them to expand in their evolutionary process and consciously, right? Because the more consciously we do it, the more impact we have. So with this, let me roll it back. Hold on. I lost my thread real quick. Right. The reason why I wanted to come on. Okay. Now that this blockage has been removed and the energetic flow is moving through Gaia, and we have the elements of masculine and feminine, right? That are actually here, divine union returning to Gaia, that creates a sacred figure 8. We're creating the divine child within her. She's returning to her divine blueprint. That's what's happening. And so all of those things are overlaying and amassing in Gaian provision for us to receive that's going to flow to us and through us. With that attack that happened on Gaia and with that blockage, it also fucked up the Akashic. This is a download I received today. It fucked up the Akashic, y'all. Yay, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for recommending me to and tagging Carolyn. So it fucked the Akashic. Okay, how did it fuck the Akashic? I'm going to do my best to explain this. So, on Earth, we are experiencing an enslaved state. Like, patriarchy itself is trauma. It creates trauma. It is trauma. It's non-clean weaving. Okay? So what has happened is, I'm going to give you an example, especially for you healers that have been doing your work. We are divine children from all over, right? We arrive on this earth plane, but when we arrive on this earth plane as a divine child, we're arriving in the fucked geometry that is patriarchy. So what happens? We arrive and we're like, oh my gosh, I have my parents and my parents before them, and all of this lineage has all been messed up. And I have to do the deepest levels of bloodline clearing, right? You've been having to be responsible for immense ancestral healing in order to just liberate your damn self. So when we look at our bloodline, when we look at our family systems, we're going, oh my God, this is such a heavy load to carry. I'm carrying so much historical trauma. But what we have not been looking at is the ancestral inheritance that is the provision. I teach my clients about this. I speak about this. We need to be looking at it more fully and inclusively, because if we are putting in victim mindset into our healing process, the only thing that we're going to be focusing on is clearing the bloodline, not receiving its provision. And y'all, each and every one of us, even in our human ancestral bloodlines, we have strengths and gifts. There's provision. There are keys. There is magic to receive. Why are you going to do the work, invest in all things, and not receive back the provision? Be prepared to receive the provision. Gaia is literally now, remember, the Kundalini is flowing, the codes are flowing, all of these things are opening up. We are going to need to be able to receive her provision. If we cannot receive her provision, if we block that, we are actually not functioning in a proper sacred figure 8 formation. That means that we cannot receive the golden code of Gaia that she is giving us. That means that we will not be able to receive and be in New Earth, because you need to be able to receive her provision in order to actually embody New Earth. So how does this relate to what had happened with the Akashic? When you are on Earth, patriarchy has been taking us out of our power, and it's been fracturing us from ourselves. We've been amnesic. We haven't been able to remember the totality of who we are and who we have been, including our multidimensional aspects of self. They have not been able to be here fully and grounded formation. And that is because of patriarchy that has been the case. Okay? So when that comes to the Akashic, a lot of times what happens is people were looking at their Akashic records and they were finding the trauma points in their history, in their Akashic history. Oh, I have to do past life healing, right? So many of us have been focused on bloodline ancestral healing, past life healing. But remember what I said about receiving the provision. Do you know how fucking powerful you are? Do you know how many keys you hold? Do you know how much information you actually have embedded into your DNA? Do you know what you actually have? No, because the fuck patriarchy that hit Gaia's energetic body hasn't allowed us to recognize our full power. And so we need to be able to receive not just like the Akashic, oh God, I had this traumatic lifetime and I had this traumatic lifetime and I had this traumatic lifetime. What about the things that you learned? What about the beautiful lifetimes you had? What about the time when you were in the Pleiades and you were just like fucking kicking it, like just living in the essence of love? What, can you not have that now? Yes, you can. You get that. That is yours. That is your history. That is yours to receive. That is yours to integrate. That is yours to embody. That is yours to hold. So what had actually happened is that the patriarchal, it's not that it penetrated into the Akashic records themselves, because they hold actuality. But what it had done was impeded our ability to access what I'm calling the Akash. That's what Gaia has told me to call it. Call it the Akash, not the Akashic. To access the Akash cleanly and fully. Because what we would have been a proximity point to, because we're here on Earth and we're experiencing the enslavement and like this, we're under this trauma, container, is we're gonna like be more inclined to tune in to the trauma points within our own Akashic record. Now that this infiltration and this impact of Gaia is removing the blockages, it is literally changing our ability to access the clean Akash, our whole selves. This, by the way, is weaving and threading as another overlay to the DNA, to the new DNA. See, we had all of these things had to come into be. The Akash and its clean record directly corresponds to our non-broken DNA, which is what has been happening because of patriarchal programming. It's actual threaded and nesting and beautiful divine union imprinted into DNA that then is allowing the new DNA to form, which corresponds to our Akash records, cleanly, not broken. So all of these things are corresponding, and this is what is opening up gateways and corridors for us to receive more of ourselves, of the totality of who we are. Remember that I say I am here to remember myself whole the whole way throughout all time and space and within creation itself. I mean that. I am leading where we are going. And I want for you guys to know that this is available for you too, that you get to receive your true lived inheritance of your soul within creation itself. And it's not all just the gunk and the muck and I gotta heal this past life. No, it is your multidimensional badassery. It's your mastery. It's your purpose. It's your uniqueness within creation itself. It's your multidimensional tools. It's your memories. It's the sacred knowledge and wisdom that you hold, the technologies that you're bringing from all over the galactics. That is what you are. That is who you are. And now it is going to be more accessible than ever. And because we have the nesting effect, it is going to propel and perpetuate itself into the most expansive ways possible, which then expands into our larger consciousness containers, which is where we are holding the essence of who we truly are. Whoa. We are going to be able to access things we have never been able to access, and we're accessing them in new ways. That's the thing, we're accessing them in new ways. You get to hold your Akash. You get to put it at the center of your soul. I just did a session the other day, and I did work that was specifically that. So this client of mine is going to be having her Akash literally sitting at the essence of her soul, emanating outward into her larger container so she can remember the totality of who she is and then walk it into this fucking earth plane. Like the badass, powerful, advanced being, genius, unique thing that she is. And on that note, if you are interested in meeting the true essence of yourself and your soul in its totality, that is the work that I facilitate. My business is called True Self Embodied. And remember, I don't go halfway, y'all. I go the whole fucking way. Sessions with me are full as fuck. You receive so much just by being in shared presence with me, because I am the chalice. I started this video out. I am the chalice. The code is coming down. It needs to fill the chalice, right? And so I'm here and I'm an ultimate code collector within the galactics, and I can literally receive the threading of your soul, and I can bring it, because I'm a major anchor of New Earth, into this shared plane of existence, and then I can relationally translate it to you so you have closer proximity to the totality of who you are and all of your threading. And yes, I am speaking to the beauty of it, and there is work. So you must be committed. Do not step into a container with me if you are not ready. So I want to click in because I remember the chalice piece. Remember, I'm a divine feminine embodiment. The chalice in divine union alchemy is a divine feminine representation. My guides were saying, Ashtyn, we need for you to see the actual size of your chalice. And then they showed me, they asked me, if you're holding the energetic body and container of Gaia, how large would your chalice be? This is where the chalice sits in the toroidal field. See this top? This is like where the codes come in. This is the portal. I'm a portal. This is where the codes come in, and they have to swirl down to the epicenter. The epicenter, this is an anchoring point. I'm a major anchor of New Earth. I put a square there because square is masculine energetic form, and it's what holds, it solidifies. So when they showed me that, I said, okay, I hear what you're saying. I said, I hear what you're saying, guys. And I just can't receive that right now. Like, because I was envisioning my chalice being a certain, almost like the size of a giant or something, right? And they were like, it is so much bigger than that, and we need for you to understand this, because they needed me to understand that so that I could actually receive all of the codes and the immensity of all of those codes from my pilgrimage, because it is essential for the evolution of humanity that I receive every single code, every single one, to completion. And I ground it here because that is my provision to the evolution of humanity. That is my provision to Gaia. That was my commitment when I met her when I was a planetary system. And I am here for completion. I am literally living a completion life cycle, not of earth incarnations. I'm talking about a completion of a creation cycle. This is a very large cycle. And so the other day on 2/9, because it was a day of completion, the Kundalini was activating massively in Gaia. I had to, there was no option, I had to pleasure myself. I'm going to try to tell this, and I'm going to keep certain details to myself, so please help me do that just out here. Keep the code clean, keep what needs to be sacred, not within this conversation. Thank you so much. So I pleasured myself, and I had a holy experience. I have these holy experiences. They usually come in threes. There's something that happens within my body, within my soma, and it activates and it releases, and it also opens to receive. This happened when I birthed New Earth in 2020. I had 3 massive somatic experiences. I had to dive inside of my body in the somatic process, and then it moves me into an entire larger container, a space of travel. I receive a lot of information. There's all these various things that happen. So that time, it's also very important to this conversation, the beginning of the sick is imprinting into this time now, because Gaia had showed me recently, she was like, look at my belly. I'm about to pop. I'm about to give birth. This is where I am. She was saying, this is where I am. This is where we are, humanity is, within this process that we've been going through since the sick started. We're headed in this portal, right? We're headed in this portal to the epicenter, which is happening on the 12th. And there's corridors, and every single day there's corridors. And then we hit the epicenter. The epicenter is the mini Big Bang. She is headed into the epicenter. All of this, and also look back all the way to when the sick started, that's the void. We've been in a collective void the whole time, which was actually kind of nice for me as a woman of the void. I was like, yeah, I got people in the void with me. Look at this. Look at this. We've been moving through the void. We are about to have a massive shift. And again, remember what I said in my previous video. People are going to experience this shift differently. If you have invested in your work, you're going to pass through this gateway, and it's going to look very differently than someone who has not done their work. So it doesn't mean we're going to start suddenly come into a state of unification, and we're not going to be seeing, old paradigm and new paradigm. We will be. But remember I said it's going to amplify on both sides. So the provision for those of you who have been investing in your work, who are devoted and committed into New Earth, you're going to receive the amplification of Gaian provision, and you're going to be able to embody more of who you are. So when I had this experience on 2/9, pleasured myself and started having the holy experience, which is the second, so I'm expecting there's probably one more within this gateway. We'll see. I could feel it. The code that I had not been able to ground, because remember, I was working with this thing that was blocking it, right? I couldn't actually ground fully myself nor this code. And I'm typically grounded, but you don't hold that much and have to bring it down to just be anchored. It's more challenging to bring that down. So that had removed that blockage. And I suddenly felt with the masculine within my own body, right? Which are also applying to Gaia's ley line. Then the next day, which was a Sacred Figure 8 day, by the way, that was 2/8 when that happened. and that is divine union. 8 is a divine union number as well. So 2-9 then came the next day. Kundalini was open and activating because this blockage wasn't here. And then it's 2-9, a day of completion. And I have to pleasure myself because the Kundalini is flowing so much because the block has been removed, which is what we experience when we have Kundalini awakenings, right? I know those of you have, and it's moved through your body and it removes the blockages, and suddenly there's something so much more flowing through you. So when that happened, I had just a very pleasurable orgasm. And right after, I'm like, oh, I start having a holy experience. The codes start coming in, and they're saying to me, the chalice is receiving, and I can see this massive chalice that is the size that would be equal to the size of Gaia's larger energetic body, filling with the code. The code was swirling and it was finally able to flow, it was finally able to come down, it's finally able to anchor, it's finally able to be here. Do you know how long Gaia has wanted this code to be here? A very long time. And here I am literally being the like a first recipient of this code within this holy experience that's moving through me as a divine feminine embodiment, a recipient within the largest chalice I could possibly imagine, and it's swirling into my body. Now, as that code moved in, there were still things that needed to move out, so I literally was gagging into a trash can, like vomiting the other things out, right? As I'm receiving literally holy divinity within my body at mass. And I'm crying because it's so beautiful, right? And it's also sexual. It's just life force coursing through my body. And I started channeling, I started traveling, and I started channeling, and I was doing weaving work, and I was grounding, because it's like once the code comes in, that doesn't mean it just comes in. I've got stuff to do as a high-level creator and weaver here. So one of the things that came in is I told you, the divine child is alive. When you have masculine and feminine divine union, immediately it creates a sacred figure 8 that creates the mini big bang. The mini big bang creates creation. Creation, the outcome of it is the divine child, which is the highest level of provision. So I was calling in the divine child for all of you, for every new earth leader, creator, every person who is available, been available, and will be available to embody the totality of who they are, who is ready to walk through the corridors, right? Of this, to walk to the other side of this gateway, to walk through the corridors and walk through this immense archway and gateway into new earth. I was calling all of you in. Come home, come home, come home. Divine child, come home. I am Monea, mother of new earth. I am in service to every divine child that has ever been and ever will be. I get teary-eyed because I feel it, because it's such love running through me. It's really real. That love is very real. So I was calling you all in with me. I call you home. I call you to the return of your soul. I call you to your original blueprint. I call you through the corridors. I call you into the gateway that is new earth. I call you to be a leader. I call you to be a builder. I call you to remember yourselves whole throughout all time and all of space. I call you to know your mastery, to know your value. I call you to be in proper harmonics within your own containers. I call you to know your genius. This is the depth of love that moves through me. This is the work that I do. So when people want to call me egotistical because I know who I am here and I say who I am here and I share who I am here, they do not understand love. They've never met the love that I produce. In order for me to call you all home, I also need to expose who I am and believe it is not easy. I have faced immense fear letting people know in public who I am. Those of you who know there's real spiritual warfare, but I am a divine child. I'm highly protected. And I am here to bring every ounce of provision I possibly can to give it to all of you so that you can receive the true inheritance of your soul. So that you can walk through the corridors of new earth, so that you can ground into who you truly are and you can create the new world. because I want it, but Gaia wants it. And you deserve it. We deserve it. Patriarchy has been a massive infiltration, not on just Gaia, but within the galactics, and fuck that. We're here to be the totality of who we are, and we're here to create a pure, harmonic world. We're here to remember ourselves, and we're here to be in alignment with the benevolent flow of creation itself. That is what I'm here for. So in that process, right, this is sex magic, you guys. People out here teaching sex magic and they're doing it through patriarchy. That's not sex magic. What I just told you about having a holy experience after I pleasured myself, that's directly related to Gaia and everything that's going on right now, and bringing in this provision and grounding it here, that is sex magic. That is what it truly looks like. That is what it truly feels like. It's in devotion to all. And it creates like you would not believe. And so on that note, I call you all home. And I want you to know that the doors are available to you now. They have not been available. It's like we've been advanced beings, divine children, and we've been like lost in the fucking cold, and we couldn't find the doorways to our own soul and the doorways to new earth that correspond to the doorways of our own soul. And now they are open. Your clean Akash is available to you. The Kundalini that's flowing through Gaia right now is removing blockages within you. The new DNA that was not able to be here because of that hit from patriarchy is finally coming into a sacred figure eight. A nesting effect is happening, and your the totality of who you truly are is now available in new forms of DNA. We will be able to create in ways we could not imagine, and we will be seeing it in this lifetime. I've been saying this. I've been saying it for 2 to 3 years because I have prophetic vision, and I've been seeing it. And I want for everyone here to know that this is available. I want for the whole fucking world, whoever's meant to receive this, to know. So again, please share my work. Please, please, please share my work. What I'm speaking to, I'm an evolutionary educator. There's so much here. Follow me on Instagram, find me on YouTube, find my link in my bio, tell people about my work, share my videos. And if you have received from this video, if you receive from other posts, then know I'm available for financial reciprocity. You can contribute to me. Any and all amounts are accepted at any and all times. Oh, okay. On that note, I think I'm going to be out. Some things to kind of keep an eye out on. What I'm building this year, 2020, so my agenda. I'm working on a 6-month membership, a 6-month container, which is going to be soul gold. We're going to walk you through corridors of your own soul. This is going to link you into New Earth and another form, an evolutionary way, deep level work. Lots of skills are going to be gained and lots of transformation is going to happen. I am also going to be creating a monthly membership group. That monthly membership group is going to be on another platform. If you know of someone who can support me in creating these things, I'm just one person. I'm receiving a lot of information. As you guys can clearly see, I'm doing a lot of evolutionary work in the unseen and otherwise realms. So it's very hard for me to commit to this and this and this and this and this all simultaneously. I need support. If you are someone who is called to support my work in this world because you see the true value in it, then please do. If you know someone who does copy really well, who can help me set up my monthly membership, who does video editing, because I literally have thousands of videos that you guys have never seen. I can't put them out fast enough. I create more than I can actually put out. If you know of someone who would be a potential match for that, and know that I have high standards. I have high standards for my work. I have high standards for the people that I relate with. I am a seer, a mirror, a truth speaker, a fire, woman of fire, and not everyone can be in my presence. So this person needs to be an evolutionary being. If you know of someone, please let me know. I'm here to collaborate and to network. That is what we're doing as being new paradigm creators. I love you all so much, and I'm wishing you so well as we move through this gateway tomorrow. We've just started to enter into, by the way, it's 2:11, so we just started to enter into the one, and the one is the corridors. A lot of us, when we first started our first wave of awakening, we see 11:11 all over the place because it's the corridors are opening. There's a light back there behind these columns. That's what we're in today. It just started. We just started within basically the precipice point, but not at the very center. The very center is tomorrow. And we're going to have the massive nesting effect between the sacred figure eight moving in both directions. And then we're going to have the 1-3. So we're going to start, it's like divine union on the other side. And guess what? We got 2-14, Valentine's Day. That is not by coincidence. Love is in the air, y'all. Community is in the air. I just remember that there's another part of the telepathic grids that I wanted to weave in here, but I can't get to it. I have so much information and it's so full that I simply can't get through it in one video. That's why I'm putting out videos consistently right now as we move through the gateways. I love you too, Gray. Thank you too, Sarah. Thank you to both of you for sticking around. I appreciate you so much. I'm just reading through some of your comments. So sorry that I couldn't engage in the same ways that I like to, but I needed to keep those threads as I was moving through. Also know that as I'm moving through, I'm moving the energy too. So you're witnessing the energy and you're coming in closer proximity to the code itself. That is immense provision, as is. So much love.